Hi, my name is Leland Green with Yamaha Commercial Audio in North America, and this is the CL Series training video. Over the course of the next few videos, we will go over the features and functions of the CL Series digital mixing console. You have the option of following the content in order or choosing a particular video to focus on that topic. Let's start by taking a look at the hardware and the different models within the CL Series. There are three consoles within the CL Series digital mixer lineup: the CL1, the CL3, and the CL5. Each one of these consoles has some common features, including a 64 input, 64 output Dante module, 8 Omni input ports, 8 Omni output ports, and 3 MY card slots. There are 24 mix buses, 8 matrix buses, and an LCR bus, 16 DCA faders, and 8 mute groups. In addition, there are 8 premium rack effects, 8 SPX 2000 class effects, and 16 graphic EQs. For controlling the console, you have 4 user-defined knobs and 16 user-defined keys. If you wish to control the console remotely, you can do so by using the StageMix iPad application or CL Editor for your Mac or PC computer. Let's take a look at the differences between these consoles. Primarily, that's going to be the size of the unit, the weight, and the number of channels that they can mix at one time. The CL5 is the largest of the lineup, and with that console, you can mix up to 72 mono input channels at one time. The CL3 is the medium-sized console within the lineup, and with that unit, you can mix up to 64 mono input channels at one time. The CL1 is the smallest within the series, and with that console, you can mix up to 48 mono inputs at one time. The rear panel of each one of those consoles is going to be exactly the same. Let's take a look at the rear panel of the CL5, starting off on the right-hand side with the power area. In this area, we can connect our IEC power cable or our PW800 power supply. You have 3 MY card slots next to the power supply area. And depending on if you're using an analog or a digital card, this will determine the number of additional input and output ports which may be available. Next to your card slots, you'll find your control area. Starting off at the top of the control area, you will see your MIDI in and out connections, your word clock input and output connections, your 5-port GPI connection, and your 2-track AES EBU output. Beneath this section, you will find your 8 Omni inputs, which can be either mic or line level, and your 8 Omni outputs, which are line level. Below these Omni outputs, you will find your Dante connections, both your primary and your secondary port. Next to your Dante connections, you will find the Ethernet port, which can be used for controlling your console remotely with either StageMix or CL Editor. Let's take a look at the front panel on each one of these consoles. On the front panel of the CL1 digital mixer, you have Bank A located on your left-hand side, Bank B in the Central Logic section, and your master bank on the right side. On the front panel of your CL3 digital mixer, you have 16 faders within Bank A on the left side, 8 faders within the Bank B in the Central Logic section, and your master fader bank located on the right. On the front panel of the CL5 digital mixer, you have 16 faders located in Bank A on the left-hand side, 8 faders within Bank B in the Central Logic section, 8 faders within Bank C on the right-hand side, and on the far right, you will find your master fader bank. The Central Logic mixing area is located in the center portion of the console and is one of those things that makes the console very easy to operate and use. There are 8 faders within the Central Logic fader bank, a selected channel section, a touchscreen display, and 4 user-defined knobs. Taking a look at the front panel on our CL5, you have your gain, pan, and assign encoder, your select button, your Q button, your input meter, your on-off button, your channel name indicator, color bar, and 100mm motorized fader. Switching back and forth between the banks is done by pressing on one of the bank select keys. Changing the mode of your gain, pan, and assign knob is done by pressing on the gain, pan, and assign key. When your LED is lit on gain, adjusting the knob will change the gain of your signal. On pan, using that encoder will pan that signal within the stereo field. When set to assign, this multifunction encoder will adjust the signal level going to the mix that you have selected. The mix that you currently have selected is displayed in the name area. To change the selected mix, touch and hold on your mix button and then press the encoder. Your Central Logic section is the heart of the CL series mixing system. Within the Central Logic section, you have your selected channel area, your display, and your user-defined knobs. Beneath the touchscreen display are your Central Logic mixing faders. Each one of those faders has a multifunction encoder, a select button, a Q button, your input meter, your on-off button, channel name display, color bar, and 100mm motorized fader. Choosing which bank of faders is displayed in the Central Logic area is done by using the bank select keys. Pressing the input button at the top will allow you to select between the different banks of input channels. Pressing the output button at the top will allow you to select between your DCAs, mixes, matrices, stereo outputs, stereo input, and your custom fader bank. Just to the right of your bank select keys are your user-defined keys. These 16 user-defined keys are pre-configured for your use. I encourage you to take a look at the video on that section for more information. Above our bank select and user-defined keys is our storage area. In this area, you have your arrow keys for your scene list, your store button, your recall button, your recall undo button, and your preview mode button. Finally, the analog control for our monitor level is located here. Now let's take a look at Bank C and our master fader bank. Within Bank C, we have our gain, pan, and assign knob, our gain, pan, and assign button, which controls how those parameters change, your select button, your Q button, your input meter, your on-off button, channel name display, color bar, and 100mm motorized fader. Selecting which bank of faders is displayed in this section is done by using your bank select keys. You have your 2 DCA buttons, stereo inputs, and 6 custom fader banks which are available. In your master fader bank section, you have fader A and fader B. These also contain a gain, pan, and assign knob which can be adjusted using this key. You also have your select, your Q, your meter, on-off button, name and color bar, and 100mm motorized fader. Keep in mind, any fader on the console can be placed at either one of these locations.